Hey guys, welcome to actually the first spoiler review on this channel. I'm trying something new. I want to see how this really goes. I have tried to do like a spoilery thing in the past where I've talked about the spoilers of a movie within the main review, but it is way too long. But if you guys really want me to do something like that in the future, I think I'd really love to hear from you. I really want to try and improve what it is I'm doing on this channel. For now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have the main review and then I'm going to have a spoiler review. So that's what we're in here now. So if you haven't seen the movie Sonic the Hedgehog 2, go away, go and see the film, come back and see this review. Or if you don't care and you just want to see the spoilers, then stick around because I'm going to get into details. Now, it's not necessarily going to be me reviewing the spoilers as such. It's going to be me just sort of talking about things that I liked or didn't like a bit more in detail. But there's definitely aspects of this movie that aren't in the marketing that I really did want to talk about and speculate where things might be going, especially with the post-credit scene. You know, it didn't stop like I think it was McDonald's or something who did sort of spoil something big that happens in this movie. So it was something that I had speculated was going to happen, but again, it wasn't in any marketing, so I didn't want to mention anything like that within the main review. So from here on out, I'm just going to be getting into spoilers, so you've been warned. So I just want to start off with a few of the minor things, and one of the things that I really did like was what they were doing with Knuckles and the way that they introduced him into the movie. Early on, he teams up with Eggman, and throughout pretty much the first 2/3 of the film, he is one of the bad guys. He is one of the antagonists of this movie. But as the movie goes on, he starts to see that maybe Eggman isn't as trustworthy as he is, and I really like how that develops across the film. And when Sonic helps him after actually losing on the fight, it is really nice seeing how Knuckles is kind of surprised, and I like seeing how he evolves into not only respecting Sonic but actually starting to become a bit more of an ally for him. So I said in the main review that Knuckles does have a few little funny scenes, and one of the things that I did want to sort of mention, but I didn't know if I should or not because it sort of surprised me a little bit and I didn't want to sort of take that away from you. The scene where like, Eggman's hacked into Tom and Sonic's phones and he's seeing the texts, and Knuckles is reading out what's on the screen, so he's like, just hanging a TV, ... And I just really caught me off guard, and I think that really did make me really like Knuckles as a character, because he is genuinely really good in this movie, and I think this is one of the best characterizations of the character I have seen. I don't know if Idris has really done any comedy in the past, but he really does have a good sort of sense of time, and I think he is really good in voiceover roles, so I think he really is good here. And I think that also extends to Colleen as well as Tails, because I think she is able to basically go toe to toe with actors. Voice actors don't get an awful lot of recognition in terms of big movies, so it is really nice getting to see her especially being able to come into a big budget movie like this and get the same respect that the other actors are getting. And as I said, with Knuckles developing in this movie, that means that we do eventually get the three of them actually teaming up, and as somebody who grew up with Sonic Heroes and with all those games where they all team up, seeing the three of them on screen together all bouncing off each other and just racing up towards the Death Egg, it's just absolutely joyful. It's absolutely brilliant what they were doing. In terms of an action sequence, it is really well done. I like how it is like one shot of the three of them running up towards the Death Egg, and it's like swinging around, seeing what all three of them are doing. As a fan as well, I think this will give you a lot of a nostalgic feel, and honestly, it really will hit you quite a bit. I mean, it isn't too much of a spoiler that the three of them were going to eventually team up, but they didn't really show it or hint at it in the marketing, so I didn't really want to mention it. One other scene that I didn't really want to mention in the main review was the dance sequence with Sonic and Tails. It's, as I said, it's such a strange sequence because it does kind of come out of nowhere. It does feel like it is a completely different movie for a few minutes, and as I said, it feels like one of those extras that you'd have on one of the old DVDs where it's like learn how to dance with the character, and then it's got like, and the character does this, and then so I think like the effects definitely don't look as great within this sequence, but it is strange how the effects are mostly good throughout the movie, so it is really strange how in this one sequence they don't quite look as good as they could have been. I said in my main review that there was a lot of Easter eggs and callbacks to previous games, and there's so many really good, well executed ones. Like, there's a few little sneaky ones in the background where GUN, who are in this movie, one of their generals actually shows up in a helicopter, and just like the games, SA2, little things like that in the background that I think fans are definitely gonna give you a little bit of a buzz. Like, even Agent Stone's coffee shop is called Mean Bean. That was great. But then it goes even further than that, to the point where they even referenced the redesign at one point, where Sonic's pretending that he's hiding in the house. When Tom goes to visit him, there's like a voice recording, and Sonic the decoy is sitting down on a chair with a big newspaper in front of him, which is actually what they did when they were redesigning him, to the point where I think he's even like wearing the same shoes and all sorts. So it was just really nice seeing that being referenced. And one thing that I was hoping that they would do, based on everything that I'd seen in the marketing, was I was hoping that we were going to see Sonic interacting with water in the way that he does in the games, and they do it, and it is so brilliant. I really liked how they did use that, because like, they do build it up, and said that sequence where he's racing across the ocean, that is quite intense, because you see that Sonic can't swim. Early on when he's fishing with Tom, he falls in the lake and he does start panicking. He does start he almost drowns at one point. So it is really great how they do have that sequence in there beforehand, so when he is running across the water and you see him starting to get a little exhausted and he starts freaking out when all these waves come, because it's beautifully shot. I loved how when he finally does sort of like slow down, he's like sort of has to like speed back up, just like you do in some of the games, because it does feel like that at times. And I really like how they did incorporate that. And he's fighting Knuckles for the Master Emerald, the sequence where he has to go underwater again to help save Knuckles. I loved how when he's trying to lift the pillar that's fallen on him, that he's running out of breath and he can't breathe, and then next thing you know, a big air bubble drifts past him and he just sucks it up. Again, I didn't think that they were actually going to go through with something like that, because that just seemed too unrealistic, but they did it, and it is great. Honestly, there's so much love for this character and the franchise that it's little moments like that make you realise that these people genuinely, who are making this movie, really do have an appreciation for the characters and the source material. And then we get to the third act, and I didn't want to get into it too much in the spoiler-free review, because I was probably going to say something that I shouldn't. The third act of this movie is the best adaptation of a Sonic game that I have ever seen. It is so well done. The action is brilliant, with the way that the three of them have teamed up against Eggman, who's now using the power of the Master Emerald to create this gigantic robot, the Death Egg, which looks incredible. I think one of the effects that they use in that movie, I think it does kind of look a little fake, but it does look really good at the same time. It's a strange effect. It's definitely cartoony, but it does look quite nice, and it does fit within this movie. And I think seeing the three of them, where they're all using their own skills to try and take on Eggman, I think it is really well done. And as I said, for me as a fan, this was just an absolute blast to watch. And then we get on to the big stuff. Now, there was something that I predicted might happen based on a couple shots of the marketing, but I didn't know if we were actually going to get there or not. And the way that this sequence was just building up to this moment, I started thinking that maybe we would actually see it. Sonic's down, the team's down, Eggman's basically won, and the Master Emerald shatters. There's no real explanation for that, but they do show in a flashback that it actually contains all 7 Chaos Emeralds. So I definitely felt a little giddy when you actually see all 7 of them on screen. I always thought the Master Emerald and the Chaos Emeralds were 2 separate things, but I don't know. I know a lot of the backstory was kind of changed for this. So yeah, Sonic's down, the Eggman's won, and the Chaos Emerald's in front of him, and I knew exactly where this was going. And when the 7 of them rise, start circling around, I nearly teared up a little bit, because we actually do get to see Super Sonic. And the fight between that and the Death Egg, I mean, it is really short, but considering how long the third act actually is and how much action has gone on at this point, I'm more than happy with it, because it really shows just how powerful Sonic actually is. Honestly, it was so great to see, and it just put such a smile on my face that it's the thing that made me want to really sort of talk about this in a bit more in depth. So I just really wanted to mention it. I really like how they did incorporate that, and I do like how they do set that up earlier on in the film. I also like how you see Eggman, how he's able to use that power in a way and see just what he could do with it, because I don't feel like we've ever really seen that in any of the games. So it is brilliant. It is really well done, and he looks incredible. As I said, as a Sonic Heroes fan, there are definitely a few elements in this that are directly out of that game, like them going to the seaside and the three of them doing like the fist bump and the camera angle where it's above their heads. And that was just a really nice touch. I'm probably showing my age a little bit here, but I don't know if anybody remembers the Happy Meal games that you could get, where it's like the Olympic sports, where it's like Sonic needs to jump over boxes, and I think Knuckles is doing baseball and things like that. They do kind of reference that a little bit later on with the three of them and Tom and Maddie all playing baseball together. It's just nice seeing like little callbacks like that. And it really does help sort of cement the friendship as well, because by that point in the movie, the three of them are friends. They are like a proper team. It is genuinely great how they have done that in this movie. But no, that's why you're here, is it? Oh, no. So, if you have seen the movie, obviously you know what it is I'm going to be talking about, and if you haven't seen the movie, really you do not want this spoiled for you, so please click away if you do not want to know this. There is a mid-credit sequence. There's a really nice animated graphic sequence, a bit like what they did in the first movie, where it's all pixel sprites, retelling what happens in the movie. So I thought that was quite a nice callback, and I think what they did there was really nice. Obviously we get a mid-credit sequence similar to the first movie, and I'd heard rumours that there is a third movie in development. We know there is, plus a Knuckles spin-off at the time of recording. What I'd heard that the third movie was going to be was potentially a Super Sonic versus Metal Sonic. That's not what they have set up. The sequence that they have in the mid-credits, they show GUM basically like cleaning up after the Death Egg battle. One of the agents comes up and says that they found files, and their choice of words, my reaction was something along the lines of just no, because they start explaining that they found files from I think it was Robotnik's database that dates back 50 years. And if you played the games, that span of time definitely will ring a bell for you, because immediately afterwards you get a little glimpse of a pod that starts coming out of the ground, starts tilting up, and you start to see some white and red skates, and then it pans up even further. Ladies and gentlemen, in the third movie we are officially going to be having Shadow the Hedgehog. And I said in my spoiler-free review that there were moments where the fans were kind of gasping and things like that. That is one of the moments that got a big gasp. That is I don't know many Sonic fans who don't like Shadow. I think he's one of my favourite characters. For me it's between Shadow and SBO. I've definitely got a thing for like ninjas and that sort of style of character, and I just think SBO is kind of cool, but Shadow's always been up near the top for me, and I'm one of the few that will say that I actually quite like the Shadow the Hedgehog game. It was a bit edgy, it was a little bit too violent at times, but I did enjoy it. Honestly, Shadow genuinely looks really good in this movie. He doesn't have any dialogue, so I don't know who it is that they're going to be getting to voice him. There have been a lot of fan casts. I can't think of many of them off the top of my head, but there definitely are some that I have heard that would sound good. I do kind of want to hear the original voice actor come into it, but again, I don't know who it is that they could go for with that role. So if you have any ideas who you want to see, down in the comments below. Honestly, as I said in the spoiler-free review, this genuinely feels like the Sonic movie that I desperately wanted to see the first time around. This is everything that I wanted to see in a movie. I'm curious what it is that you guys think about this as well. So in terms of where the franchise can really go from here, they are definitely setting up a Sonic and Shadow rivalry, so I am really looking forward to that. I don't know if they're going to be doing like a straight up Sonic Adventure adaptation, or whether it's going to be completely its own thing. They have kind of gone their own way in these films, so it probably wouldn't be a direct adaptation in any way, shape or form, but there will definitely be callbacks for it. I would love to see like a city escape sequence. I would love to see Sonic and Shadow go super together, maybe going up against Metal Sonic, which could happen, but we could also get chaos. We don't know what direction it is that they're going to go in. I'm genuinely excited about what it is that they're going to do, and if the next movie is anywhere near as good as this one, I think it will be a genuinely great experience. So that's all I've really got to say for this. As I said, it was just things that I just wanted to mention in the spoiler-free review, but I just couldn't, because it really will ruin the movie for you. I really did enjoy it, and honestly, I'm really curious to see what you guys think. There's been a really mixed reaction for it online, so I do want to see what the audience thinks. So honestly, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, let me know down below. Are you looking forward to the third one? Do you have any ideas where they should go? Who do you want to see cast as Shadow? What villains do you want to see? Anything like that. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you can keep up to date with everything that's going on. Honestly, I can't thank you enough for all the support I've been getting, so thank you all subscribers, everyone who's viewed these videos. If you stayed through this long, thank you so much. Look for more videos in the future. I'll be looking into starting to develop the social media side of this a bit more. I'm looking into possibly doing Facebook and Instagram. I'm sort of 50-50 on Twitter, but I'll let you know when those are up and running. So until then, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say, so thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.